Hey everyone, Corey Walen here, managing partner, Bridgemark Strategies, firm that's helped thousands of financial advisors objectively explore the broker-dealer and RIA marketplace and help them find the firm with the right combination of feel, fit, and financials for them and their business. So I start out all of my videos pretty much the same way because our feel, fit, and financials process is the way that we help financial advisors explore these firms, evaluate them, make sure that they stay laser focused on the things that are important to them and don't get distracted to make sure that they make the best decision. So feel, fit, and financials, I just wanted to go over those three main components of the decision-making process that we help financial advisors go through to make the best decision possible and just talk about some of the mistakes in those three different criteria that we see financial advisors make. So the first one is feel, and the feel is pretty simple for financial advisors. It's, do you like the people at the solution firm? Do you like the leadership? Do you feel good when you talk with them? Do you have a warm feeling about them? Does it feel right? Advisors frequently know that they don't want in a firm and they can figure that out pretty quickly. But sometimes when a call goes really well, they really like the recruiter, they start to build a trusting relationship with them. And I'm going to go on later why sometimes that could potentially be a bad idea. The second evaluation piece is the fit. And fit is just learning the deep details of the solution firm to make sure that it's a good fit with your business. Fit is also one of the most critical categories, and also it's just an area that many advisors just spend the least amount of time evaluating. A lot of advisors will assume the products and services and capabilities offered by their existing firm are going to be the same everywhere, and that's just going to be any further from the case. Products and services can vary greatly. Even at two firms that seem really similar and are main competitors, things can be really different on the inside. And we've worked with advisors coming from 50 different firms out there in the industry, and we've learned a lot through that time about certain things inside of these firms that they definitely wouldn't want you to know about and that you definitely should know about. And then the third one is just financials. Financials is one of the hardest things for advisors to evaluate, believe it or not. All of these firms have different payouts, different hurdles, different platform fees, different ticket charges, pay you differently based on the profitability of your firm in terms of, upfront sign-on incentives. Some are going to be upfront. Some are going to be more back-end incentives based on your growth and retention of your assets once you're over at the next firm. So when you're looking at 3 or 4 firms and they're all paying you differently on the upfront and their ongoing economics are completely different on the back end, it's really, really hard to compare these firms on a side-by-side basis to make sure you're comparing apples to apples and making a really smart decision. So not only can we help you compare these side by side, but also just based off of the upfront money and the ongoing economics, help you figure out where the break even is with all of these firms over time. You know you're making the right decision. So there's a lot of mistakes that we see financial advisors making in these 3 different categories. So I figured I would just cover a few of those today and how we help financial advisors avoid them. So the first one is feel. There are a lot of financial advisors out there. They'll build an amazing relationship with the recruiter. They'll build a lot of credibility, and they'll make a decision based off of the likability of the recruiter. A lot of times because they like the recruiter, they'll start, trusting them a little too much on their answers and not digging deeper into certain things. But at the end of the day, once you join the firm, that recruiter is going to move on to another recruit and you're not going to talk with them as much anymore. The people you should be developing your feel off of are the people that you're going to be working with every single day. The leadership of the firm, the people in the service center, the people in the marketing department. Those are the people that you want to figure out that you really, really like and that your interests align. From a fit standpoint, I'd say the biggest mistake that financial advisors make if they go out there and do this alone, they just don't spend enough time digging into the areas of the firm that are really, really important to their business. So whether they developed a really good relationship with the recruiter and just skip over some things, or they just don't know the right questions to ask because they've only moved 0 once or twice in their career. Just for an example, if marketing is something that's really important to them, They'll ask one or two questions if they can do social media or if they can do Instagram, and they'll kind of move on. Where there's probably 15 plus questions to dig in deep there, just to cut through sales spin and figure out where the real limitations are inside of the firm. You just need to keep in the mind through this process. There's no recruiters out there that are purposely trying to deceive you, but at the end of the day, it's their job to highlight the benefits of joining the firm, and it's up to you to figure out the ways that are the reasons why you shouldn't join the firm, which is where we can really help, just due to all of the experience that we have helping advisors find a new home. And then the financials. A lot of financial advisors will make mistakes here. As I mentioned before, number one, it's just really hard to compare the economics side by side. So sometimes just not being able to put it all on one spreadsheet and compare the options will make them make a poor decision, which is definitely something that we could prevent. But also as well, a lot of financial advisors, just due to their inexperience moving firms, they don't know the right questions to be able to help differentiate the value of these different firms. And when there's an absence of value inside of these firms, most people are going to make a decision based off of price. And so a lot of financial advisors will go out there and they will just choose the firm that gives them the highest offer or the highest payout or a combination of both, without doing a ton of focus on the feel and fit. So they're just us being able to ask questions 100 layers deeper, just because we do this all day, every day, is really going to help you, figure out what you need to know from a feel and fit standpoint. So you're not just making a decision based off of financials. If the financials are there and the feel and fit are there also, that's a win-win for everybody. But almost 100% of the time when an advisor is making a decision solely based off of feel, we're almost guaranteed to be having another conversation with them in another 4 years. So I really hope this helped. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a dive into the process that we help financial advisors go through. If you have any questions at all, I would love to have a conversation. We can make this process so much easier for you. And my contact information is all over my YouTube channel, my podcast, and my website, CoreyWalen.com. Thanks so much. I hope we could talk soon.